Welcome boys. In this video, I'm going to do a brief little tabletop review of my Walther PDP F-Series. This was a recent purchase after I bought the Apex A1 and PPK. I noticed this guy chilling in the display case. Now, as a masculine presenting transgender lesbian, I was digging the PDP F-Series, F standing for female, and that being it has a smaller grip circumference, a shorter barrel, and a supposedly easier to slide or to operate slide. Came with 2 magazines total and the speed loader. I bought an extra magazine, so I have 3 total. 1 in the gun and then 2 in my spare magazine pouches, as I like to roll with. Magazines will also fit the Walther PPQ. The PPQ magazines will fit in your PDP. So the PPQ mags do in fact say PPQ on them. The PDP magazines just say Walther. I didn't bring my P99 down with me, but those magazines say P99, and I do have the second gen P99. Those magazines do not work with these guns because both this and the PPQ have that American style thumb release, whereas my P99 has the trigger guard mag release. Just like this P22. Essentially a baby version of my PPQ. So let's compare the sizes and the differences between our PDP and our PPQ. So again, I didn't bring the P99, but the P99 for all intents and purposes is similar in shape and size to this PPQ. The P99 has a much smoother grip with some dots and blocks to grip. This actually has some finger grooves in there, some palm swells, and this very smooth texturing, which I am a bigger fan of than the very aggressive stuff, because I don't have old calloused hands. I have young, dainty, masculine, presenting transgender lesbian hands. So thumb release on the PPQ, we have some slide serrations, and the raised parts do sit flush with the rest of the slide. It is just cut into the slide to give you the slide serrations here. We have some texturing, if you can see, along the top of the slide, and that is to help reduce glare. 3-dot sight, and these are polymer sights. Long slide release. Flush sitting magazine, 15 rounds. Now our PDP is going to have about a 1/2 inch shorter barrel. As you can see, we have these 3 deep slide serrations here and only 2 here. If you get the carry or the 4-inch barrel F-Series, you will get a PDP that is the same length as the PPQ. The PDP is slightly wider, so it will not fit in my holsters for the PPQ because of this deep terrain slide serrations, or whatever they want to call them, which, as we can see, actually protrude a little more from the slide. Does it feel any easier to cycle than my PPQ? Not really. Maybe that'll break in over time. I will say the trigger is amazing. Like, I thought the PPQ... First, I thought the P99 had, like, the best trigger ever. That was the gold standard. And it was really good. And the PPQ came along, like, oh, man, that's even better. I can't believe they outdid themselves. And then this thing came out, and I was like, man, that is even better. Like, how do they do it? How do they do better every generation of full-size Walthers? I do not know. But I've been saying the same thing whenever the N64 came out, and I was like, these are the best graphics ever. They'll never make anything better. Then the PS2 came out, I was like, oh my god, these are the greatest graphics ever, they'll never do anything better. And then the 360 came out, I was like, oh, OMG, it's so realistic. You know, and now we're like several generations past that even, now to like the Series X and PS5. And oh my god, they're never gonna make graphics better than that. Until the next one, I guess. I imagine that'll be the same with the Walther. This is the best trigger ever. Until the next generation of this. But I do like, this is kind of in the middle of a very aggressive texture and a very smooth texture. Like I would consider my Beretta Apex A1, along with that Taurus G2C, to have super duper ultra mega sandpaper grips that you're going to need gloves when you go out and shoot. If you shoot this any long period of time, this is going to rip into your skin, this is going to rip into your skin, a little less than this. But smooth things like the Ruger here, the PPQ and the P22, those won't dig any at all. I think this is somewhere in between, which is fine by me. But you can get a really good grip on this thing. Like, I can actually reach the magazine release with my thumb without changing my grip at all. And if I actually wanted to fire this thing, I could stick my finger all the way through here until the knuckle rests on the trigger. Of course, you can't pull the trigger doing that because you need to have this depressed before. This does not have restrike. Once you pull the trigger and it fails to fire, you will have to cycle it again. But look at this reset. Back up on the wall and bam. Amazing. The only polymer striker-fired guns that I've seen that have restrike is the Taurus G2C and my Walther P99. Never seen another one with it. If you want to be able to pull the trigger and then pull the trigger again, you're either getting those two guns or you're getting a hammer-fired gun like the Beretta M9 or an H&K USP or Mark 23. But I don't think we need to go over anything else other than that. I just had a few other guns laying around here just for kind of comparison's sake. But I believe you're going to be most comparing it to something like the PPQ, which is the previous generation of Walther. Slightly more narrow. This one's a little bit longer because of the 4-inch barrel. This PDP is shorter with a 3.5-inch. But you can get your arm all the way around it, your hand rather, and then you can stick your finger pretty far in here. But I can't actually pull the trigger that easily. I have to actually put my finger on it like it was meant to be fired. Just like the PPQ, we do have the very long slide lock and or release. Just take the gun down. It is just like the P99 to PPQ. You just roll it back slightly, hold down on it, push forward. If you haven't yet, then you would pull the trigger. Comes apart. This has a dual captured guide rod spring with a big spring and a little spring. And our polygonal shaped rifling in there, which makes the gun way easier to clean, by the way. It's one thing, another reason I don't like shooting the P99 as much as I do the PPQ, because the PPQ is easier to clean with it. Having the polygonal rifling, whereas my P99 is not. I believe those are, yeah, I think my H&Ks are the only other guns I have that have polygonal rifling. So it's those two Walthers, and then my USP Expert and the Mark 23. So, hope you enjoyed this little, just kind of review / comparison of this PDP. I like it. I don't know if I'll carry it. Another thing, it does come with a little optic ready slide. You can just take this off, and then I do have a free coupon. If I was to have an optic, I would just send it to Walther, tell him what optic I'm using, and then they would send you a free plate to put on there, so that adapter plate, so that your optic would fit for it. Which is fine if you're into that sort of thing. I don't have an optic, so I guess I would have to buy one to take advantage of it. But I'm not much of an optic guy. This is a smaller concealable gun compared to the PPQ, so if I guess I was to carry one of these two out for concealability, it would probably be the PDP. But I still like the PPQ. Even the bigger grip, the big grip kind of fits my hand very well. Even something big like the M9 or my HK, either HK, Mark 23, or the USP Expert. These still fit my hand quite well. I can do large circumference, big handled and grip firearms because I do have large hands. But I can just as easily get in on some hardcore, easy to grip around action where it takes almost no room. You know, almost no effort to go around and then easily eject the magazine if I wanted to. So, again, if you're looking into a concealable firearm that's normal size, not small and compact, like my actual carry guns, consider this. And if you are a fellow masculine presenting transgender lesbian and you definitely need a smaller circumference firearm that packs big power and high capacity, well then consider the the PDP F-Series. Maybe one day they'll have a PDP M-Series, and then I can get my manly hands around one of those guys and see how it compares to one of the other Walthers or something like the Beretta M9. So alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps. Hope it was somewhat entertaining. Not really a technical review, but you can see how it compares to some of the other Walthers or other smaller concealable guns. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.